Sup?
What's up?
G-Man.
We're back out here again.
It's been a while.
You've been busy.
Busy.
It's time for
Review.
a pistol review. But we're not just going to jump right into the review. We're going to run them. We got not just one for you today. This is the Taurus TCP 738. We've got another gun here, the Ruger. You can't see it in the sunlight. LC9s with some modifications that we'll go over. You've seen the Ruger. I don't think you've seen the LCP, but we're going to run them today. We're going to cover some basics and some also a couple other things, our opinions and whatnot. So if you are looking to buy a gun similar to this or like these, you know, the Ruger LC9, LC9s, other variants, or the Taurus or other little micro gun, even though it may not be one of these guns, we're still going to cover a few subjects on the little pocket pistols and their employment and use and whatnot. So, but first what we're going to do is we're going to run the pistols. We got a few targets set up, right?
Correct.
And we're not just going to talk about it, we're going to get it on camera and then give our opinion on them. So let's do it. You want some muffs? Let me set this down for a second here. Got your ears?
Yo.
Okay, so here's the scenario. We're gonna sprint up to that white thing, right? 3 rounds on target. Then you're gonna sprint over to the next one, 3 rounds. And you're gonna have to reload because we're only running 6 rounds each.
Yep.
Then there's another one, 3 rounds, and then sprint all the way around the curve for the little bitty swinger plates, 3 more rounds. So we're gonna do a total of 12 rounds. We're gonna do a couple runs each on both pistols.
These carry 6 in each one.
Yeah.
Single stack.
Single stack.
Well, whatever you're ready here. I'm good.
What'd you have for breakfast?
I had a burrito.
And coffee?
Coffee.
Go! Missed. 3 misses. Calm down, breathe, squeeze. High. One more. Squeeze. Probably gonna have to reload.
Whoop. I passed the tree. We're right here. Past the tree.
Okay.
Past the tree.
Slow down, make some hits. Jam. I think you're shooting to the right. I think you might be pulling it right. All right, breathe, calm it down.
Woo! Wasn't so hot.
What happened?
Haven't had much time with this.
It's not.
It's something to get used to because it has so much kick to it. But when you get your heart rate up, it makes it a little harder. The sights are a little.
They're not easy.
They're a little low. It makes.
They are painted to make it a little easier, but.
Well, you just got to get a feel for the gun, really. But I think if you were actually shooting at somebody, you would actually hit them.
Well, we can't assume that.
You can't. You can never assume that. You never know until it actually goes down.
I'm gonna run the 9 next, and then And then you'll run the 9, then I'll run the 380.
That'll work.
Or do you want to run the 380 again and try again?
I'll try to get it a little bit.
Okay. Here goes. Ruger LC9. It holds 7, but we're running 6. Just to keep it comparative to the other gun we're running today. Don't have to change up the course of fire. This one, I've done a modification on it. We'll just cover that right now. But usually you can't fire it. It's empty. Usually you can't fire it without a mag in it. But I've removed that disconnector. I left the safety in. There's a video I'm going to make it of how to take the disconnector apart. But you can also remove the safety if you want to while you're in there. I chose to leave it in, my preference. We can argue all day about that. But we're going to load, make ready, and get ready. All right.
Go. Pull it up to the right.
Yeah, I got that one though, the left one. That's 4. Nine out of 12.
Not bad.
One thing I'll go ahead and say right away. This what do they call that? Trigger safety or
Trigger guard.
no, that split trigger.
Oh, okay.
It's the technical term is escaping my mind right now. Anyway, when you fire it, there's like trigger slap. It's kind of got room in between the trigger and the safety, and it pinches your skin when it recoils. But maybe I'm just a pussy. Anyway.
Taurus.
Well, you're gonna have to say it again. I wasn't recording yet.
We own it again, the Taurus 380.
Okay. Go! Pulled it. Pulling right. Not function. Out of round. No. What happened?
Didn't go in.
Didn't failure to feed. To the right. Failure to feed. Push the mag in there harder.
Okay.
Yep. two. You connected on that one. Calm down, cleansing breath. There's one. Two. Something's going on there. To the right.
A little high on that one. Oh, that was a little bit better.
It's better. That was 4 out of 12.
Getting used to that trigger. Thing has a mean kick to it.
It's got a crappy trigger.
But it's a long, heavy trigger. I might have to look into seeing about maybe lightening it. But I don't know.
You got to shoot it. Remember the Sky 9mm, where you got to pull the trigger. It's got that. That's got the same thing as the Sky.
It's really long and heavy.
Here, hold. Here, grab the camera. So, videotape right back here. You see that? You see that?
Yep.
Hammer coming back?
You gotta get in the sunlight a little more.
Let's see if we can't get it in focus. There we go. See that hammer?
Yep.
You see that line where it meets the frame? And so pull it back to there and then squeeze.
Yeah, let's get that
Pull it back to there and then squeeze. So visually, when you're learning how to shoot it, you'll actually look, then line up your sights, then squeeze. Look, line up your sights, then squeeze. But after you get it down, I don't even have to look at it anymore. And you can actually get to where you pull it all the way. See, it's even with the top line of the receiver metal. Then there's a second line, you can put the bottom even with it. And then there's just a hair more. And then the trigger changes. It's like shooting the P250 SIG or the 350 or whatever it is, 320. A lot of people hate them because of the trigger, but shoot the trigger like it's supposed to be shot. It's like the Sky 380 and the Sky 9. Those triggers are like that.
Here we go. Rolling.
So let's talk a little about what happened with these mags and the misfeeds. This was my Taurus, or the family, and now it's G-Man's. He got it for his fiance, but we'll touch on that later. First I want to talk about what happened with the mags. So as you'll notice, this is a genuine Taurus mag. This has never had a failure to feed or anything with it, other than to the day. The only failures I've had while having this one in the gun is if you limp wrist it. So you fire it limp wrist, and the gun comes back into the pocket of your hand, and then it doesn't cycle all the way. I haven't had it stovepipe yet. But what we were having earlier is with these P mags, you'll notice, let me show you something. See how that's flush? You see that?
A little gap.
So with these P mags, they're not seating all the way into the magazine disconnect, or the magazine button. So when you fire these, and this is not ideal, I don't recommend it. We have them today, I bought them a long time ago. Is to shoot these, next time you shoot with these Pro Mags, put your hand on the bottom, push, and then fire. Now you gotta hold that mag in the gun. That's ghetto as hell, but for today's purposes, well, you know what? Let's not do that. Let's keep exacerbating why these Pro Mags, and Pro Mag, you need to fix your Taurus mags, because at least on this one, they're not functioning right. And I don't have one, I have two, and they both do the same thing. Check it out. They both have the same problem. And what you just saw there with G-Man is the mag wasn't seated. The mag is seated into the mag release, so it's in the gun, but either the feed angle is not right or something, and it's not going into the chamber as the slide rides forward. So that's what you were witnessing there. Now we're going to talk a little about employment on these guns. We're going to run them. We're going to do them both together because they're kind of the same and not the same, but it's a 2-for-1. We'll catch them both. A twofer. And so employment, number one gun I'd say is a backup gun. Be a good backup gun. I carry this one as a backup gun. I carried this one as a backup gun for a long time. Would you buy them as a gun to go to like a target gun, range gun? I would say no. This one will do a better job of it than this one because it's larger.
What's this one?
This is the Ruger LC9s, and it's got, you have 7 rounds, but of 9mm. That's another thing. This one's 380. This one's 9mm Luger. With this one, with the Ruger, you can actually get. Oh, let's cover that real quick. The Ruger doesn't have. Okay, let's not jump around. We'll cover that real quick. The Ruger doesn't. There's no. That is not a slide release. That's just a whole slide hold open. The slide release on your Luger is right there. On your Ruger is right there. It'll ride back and hold it open, but you can press that all day and you're going nowhere. You gotta run it like an old Glock. So back to what I was saying on employment. The Ruger has the ability to put this finger or pinky extension in there, so you can get a full grip on it. I mean, if you got really large hands, you'll still be, not on it. But anyway, other employments, backup gun's good. We said target gun, probably not. If it's going to be the only thing you do with it, then probably not a good idea. If you're going to carry it as a backup gun and then if you're going to carry any gun, you should practice with it. That gets to another good point is if your main gun, so right now today, my main gun's a 1911, full size. I know it's heavy as hell. I know it only has 9 rounds in it with 1 in the chamber, which is 8 + 1. I realize that. I'm not carrying it cocked and locked. But that's my preference. I don't carry mine cocked and locked. Maybe I should, but I don't. I carry it 1 in the chamber with the hammer down. It's a Series 70, I think. So it doesn't have a transfer bar. Anyway, we're not reviewing the 1911 today, but there's all kinds of stuff and opinions you can throw out there. I've carried a 1911 for longer than I will admit on camera. And I've always carried it 1 in the chamber with the hammer down. That's my personal preference. So if you don't like it, bite me. Okay, back to the guns at hand. Where are we at? Employment. What else would you buy these guns for? Would you buy this gun for your wife or your fiance or your girlfriend or your mom? Or?
Well, for a first-time shooter that doesn't like big, bulky guns, yes. That would be an ideal, either the 380 or the 9, because they're both light and they're compact.
Okay. So what if somebody told you she's not going to be able to shoot that gun? It's going to kick a lot because it's little.
Then you go up and tell them then that's their preference. So they'll be able to squeeze it and then they'll be able to give you the feedback. You can't always give somebody's opinion for them.
Right. And that's a good point. My wife and your fiance have both been out here with us, and they've shot our full-size guns, our compact guns, our subcompact guns. They've shot our pocket pistols. And at the end of the day, whenever my wife gets up in the morning, because we had this discussion a couple years ago, which gun do you want to carry? Because a while back they made it legal for anybody to carry in their car, whether you have a license or not. We won't get into that. But anyway, and she decided, she goes, I want to carry the little 380. Okay. But when we're at the range, you told me that it kicked a lot. Yeah, I know, but I don't care. She's like, well, why don't you want to carry the subcompact? Do you want to carry the Glock 19? No, I want to carry the 380. Do you want to carry The 1911. No, she don't like that gun as much. She likes to shoot it at the range, but she don't like to. Anyway, the point is she shot all those guns. She specifically chose a 380, and the reason was it was easy. It was easy to carry it. It just made it simple. She put it in her purse, go out to her car.
Was it too bulky of an item to be in her purse?
Yeah, she didn't want to carry the Glock or the B6P when I had it.
Well, she said the B6P was a little too heavy and bulky.
Too heavy, it's too bulky, it was too cumbersome. That's the word I was looking for, cumbersome. So at the end of the day, she chose what she thought was best for her, the little 380.
And that's her opinion, that's her option.
She knows it's a 380, she knows that it's not a 9mm, it's not a 45, it's not a 40. It has its downside. She knows it only carries 6+1. She's got backup magazines. But we won't get into these backup magazines. That aside, assuming you have functioning magazines, there's no reason that a woman's first gun can't be a 380. But, asterisk, I would have her go to a range and shoot the gamut. It doesn't have to be a particular gun or anything, but have her shoot a full size in whatever caliber. Don't put her on a 10mm. Don't put her on a 40.
Or a 50.
Or a 50 or any crazy like that. Put her on a 45 or a 9. The recoil will be manageable. She'll have a good time. Move her up to a compact. If you want to try the subcompact like the Glock 26 or the Sky, there's who is it that makes it freaking Lightning? Anyway, there's a whole bunch. We won't get in there. There's a whole bunch of little subcompacts that she could try. Then move her up to the pocket gun.
Well, it'll be her.
And then have her go back and shoot them all over again. And then ask her which gun she liked the best. And then ask her the questions. If you had to carry this, if you were gonna carry this, are you thinking about carrying a gun? Do you want to get a license? Do you want to carry it in your car? Talk to her about all these different things. Get her thinking about it, and don't press her for an answer right away. But let her think about it. Talk her through it, but don't just assume that you want to go. Don't ever buy a gun for her without her input. Now, G-Man is getting this gun for his fiance, but she shot it before she specifically told him she would like that gun or one similar to it. He's not buying it without her. It's completely different. Anyway, so that's employment. Cost, this thing, you can get them for about $180 something used. What is it, the TC, we'll call it the TCP. I can't remember all the dang numbers.
The TCP.
738, there it is, right there on the slide. How about that? It's made in America, that's nice. With the Taurus mags, it has functioned flawlessly for me. That said, about 178 bucks. You can get them up to about 250. That's kind of expensive. I got this one for 200. You can still get them for about like that. The Ruger LC9s, LC9, LC380, LC3. I think there's a 380s maybe. There's different kinds. There's the ones like, okay, specifically this one. I chose this one for a reason. It doesn't have it's got a loaded chamber indicator, but it's a cut in the top of the barrel into the chamber. There's ones that have a loaded chamber indicator that sticks up with a big red knob on it. I didn't like that. That's another mechanical part to function. You can here. You ready? All right. So I chose this one because I don't like extra mechanical parts. It does have the safety. I could have removed it. I left it in there. I can always go back into the gun and remove the safety. You want to make sure when you remove the safety, you flip it down so when you put it back together, it'll fire. Okay. Other than that, this gun, I think I paid $350 for it. It came with one mag.
And that's your Ruger 9mm.
That's the Ruger LC9. think I paid $350, maybe $370. I can't remember. But they go anywhere from, you can get them used for probably like $300, $325. Oh, I've seen them high as $450. That's ridiculous. Don't buy that one at $450. You can find another better one. It's kind of harder now to find the ones with the safety and without the loaded chamber indicator. They make all kinds of different. It just depends on what state they're in. If it's California or just a bunch of crap. Anyway, when you're in the state of Texas, you don't have to deal with that stuff. So, but pick the gun, which version of it that you would like if you're going to get it. I think that covers cost. Where's my pen at? There we go. Let's mark these off the list. Good. Good. Reliability. I fired lots of rounds out of the TCP, but as long as you use good quality Taurus made mags, the mag's made for it, and not right now a Pro Mag, no good. It'll function flawlessly. You have to hold it tight just like any other gun. Don't limp wrist it. It will misfeed on you. Reliability on the Ruger. It is, let me think. I think I had one failure to fire, but it was a primer strike, and it was Monarch ammunition. So that happened. That's happened on a Glock 19, where the Monarch ammunition would not fire. It was striking the primer, wouldn't fire.
Well, that was only after we lightened the trigger on the G19.
No, I'd done it before. I got it on camera. But it did it to your B6. It's done it to your B6P too.
Even with the Monarch?
Mm-hmm.
I never had it.
With Monarch, I think Monarch. I'm not sure, but I think the Monarch quality, at least to the 9mm, the lacquer coated case, has gone down a little bit. Maybe it's a primer issue, but anyway, we'll not get too deep into that because we could be here all day. Okay, so that covers reliability. What else would you want to hear on reliability? Oh, that's pretty it. They're pretty reliable. I mean, you know, we showed on camera though that the P-mags don't work.
I mean, can you
Pro
ride
mags.
it hard and put it up wet?
Oh yeah, that's good. That's a really good. You can ride the TCP hard and get it really dirty. That's not ideal. That's never ideal. Even with the Glock, even with an AK. Asterisk. My AK's dirty as hell right now. But all guns, they should be lubricated properly. They will run better lubricated properly. They'll run dirty as hell and rusted and shit. They'll run better
when they're maintained and clean.
When they're maintained and clean. Now, of course, that's speculation. I haven't done any actual scientific tests, but I've never had any issues with the Taurus, and I haven't had any issues with the Ruger in functionality. However, the slide finish on this slide, this Ruger has rusted on me. I've got rid of the rust, but it's rusted on me on the slide serrations. And where else? Oh, there's some rust. You probably can't see it on camera, but there's rust on my mag release, and there's a little bit of rust on the safety switch right now underneath it on the serrations. So, but that hasn't hindered functionality. These guns, we brought them out here. Last time I shot them, I probably shot 50 to 100 rounds through them. No, 50 to 75, and I didn't clean them. Not these two. So they'll work. You still got to clean them. They're not a Glock and they're not a AK, but that's good. Firepower, pretty simple. 6 rounds for the Taurus. 7 rounds for the Ruger. I don't think there's any higher capacity mags. There might be, but I don't think there is. Actually, change that. The TCP does have a higher capacity mag. I think it's got a 7 or 8. Sticks out of the bottom about this far. I'll try to look for a picture of it and then put it right here where my ugly mug is. And then that'll cover that. 380, we've already said that. 9mm, done. That's about it for right now. Let's run another gun. Run and gun. We're here to run and gun.